Hi, this is Mr. Mitchell, and I want to give you the video syllabus for the high school credit science class that your child is in. This is me. You may have seen me because your child may have had me for the last couple of years. But this class is a little bit different than the earth science and the life science your child has taken. It's high school credit. It is more rigorous. It has more videos. It's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be a little bit more detailed than the 6th grade and 7th grade. But I really do like the content in this. I really enjoy teaching it, and hopefully your child will be able to kind of step up and do a little bit more work and maybe do a little bit more thinking, and hopefully have a really enjoyable, positive experience with this. Hopefully this video will help answer a few questions about this. Here is my family. You can see Mrs. Mitchell, who teaches many of your children's math, and my two children here. Zach is a freshman in high school and Alex is a freshman in college. Just a little bit more about me. I am a Christian, like to fish, and my college football allegiance goes to Alabama, but I also like to teach science. Now let's talk a little bit about the physical science class. What's in the 8th grade high school credit physical science class? And I'll come back to this slide later because I want to show you some things that are in this class. We have things like speed, acceleration, and motion, and in fact we'll have the Newton's laws of motion. Then we will go to sound waves. We'll end up doing some light waves later on, some electricity. Electricity is a cool unit, I think. And we'll talk a lot about the periodic table. Radiation, alternating current. Here's the light waves and the different kinds of radio waves, microwaves, all the way through gamma rays that we talked about. Acids and bases, and finally at the end, your child learns how to make an atomic bomb. Isn't that comforting as a parent to know? But anyway, let's go back to what's in the 8th grade high school credit physical science class. You can find that at georgiastandards.org, all the entire details, you might say. Now let me just go ahead and tell you, this does count for high school credit. I think you probably knew that already. Even though your child's in 8th grade, this is a high school class, and it will count on their high school transcript, and hopefully it will be a good grade. There is the chance that your child might not be ready for this. If that is the case, they have 2 weeks in which to drop the class. I will be reminding them over and over and over of that drop date, and if you just send word, then we'll send them to a non-honors science class for the year, and they can take the 4 high school classes in high school, which gets to the point. By passing this high school credit class, your child will then only have to take 3 high school science classes. Everybody has to have 4 to graduate, but since your child will have gotten this one in middle school, then they will only have to have 3. Now let me tell you, whenever they get to 9th grade, they're going to have a class called physics, which it does have a lot of repeat of what they get in this class, which, you know, I've had some people who have thought that was a bad thing, but you know, in the transition to high school, it might not be a bad thing. From what I understand, they do a lot more labs in that physics class, and it doesn't have the exact same standards. It's somewhat close, but it's not the exact same standards. If you have any questions about that or about anything in this class, you can see that my email address is rmitchell@floydboe.net. Hey, feel free to email me. I check my email all the time. Okay, let's get to some details. For 8th grade physical science, that is this class, the high school credit, and a couple other classes, here's what the breakdown is for the grades. You have 55% is what your test grades count. That's projects, test grades, and so on. 25% is classwork, homework, quizzes. That's the daily grades. You do have a pretty heavy percentage in the exam. Semester exam for first semester is 20%, and for the EOC is 20%. Yes, that's what high schoolers take at the end of their classes, so since this is a high school class, your child will end up taking that test, and that will count 20% of that grade. Something you should know, and this was the case with 6th grade and 7th grade, there's a 7-point curve on all the major grades. That's this 55% with tests and projects. Not a curve on the daily grades, not a curve on the exams, but just on this, because it is a tougher class, it is a more rigorous class. Something new. Semester 1 and Semester 2 are separate grades. So if your child has, say, an 88 for Semester 1, it doesn't matter if they make above a 92 Semester 2. They already have that B on their transcript. And that may not be a big deal to some of you, but it may really be a big deal to some of you. So the first semester and the second semester grades are separate. They are not averaged together. And you can see I've even marked out what the former what it used to be. It used to be averaged together, but it's not now. And yes, something I just came from a meeting today where it was decided that for this class, we have zeros for late work. So make sure you get your work in on time, and that does not count if a student is absent. Say a student is absent sick, of course they're going to be given the 3 days in which to make up their work. But yes, teachers are giving zeros for late work in this. Usually not a problem in the honors classes, but I figure I better tell you because I'm sure it'll happen somewhere along the line that someone will end up getting a zero because of that. Textbook. Your child will not be issued a textbook for this class. We have a small number of textbooks, plus I really don't use them as much more than a reference. Sure, there'll be times when we pull the class set out and take a look at problems or practice or things from there, but for the most part, the textbooks will stay here. Now, I do have a few textbooks I might could lend out if you really see that it's more of a comfort level for your child to have a textbook at home. Then hopefully I'll have enough to lend one out. They might not be in great shape, but I can do that. Just email me if you think that that's what your child will need. What will your child need for this class? Well, your child will need a paper source. Your child will need a pencil. There is about 30% of the class, not daily, but 30% of the whole year, where your child will need a calculator. Now, if I'm thinking correctly, your child had to get a calculator for math. So they can just bring those calculators to physical science whenever we're using the calculators. They'll be like calculating acceleration and motion and specific heat and several things such as that. Let me tell you about the flipped classroom. I use the flipped classroom method, and I really like it. The flipped classroom is where I make instructional videos, and for homework, your child watches them. That way they come to class having a better knowledge base of before. Now, that is a grade. It's a daily grade for them to have watched that. Plus, well, it's the relay of information. They need to watch that. Fortunately, it is something they can do on a smartphone if they happen to have a smartphone or can borrow it for that purpose. If a child does not have internet during the year, we do have several things for that. Our library carries a copy of all the videos, every single one for the year, so if given a chance, they can get to the library and watch whatever video is assigned. Inside my classroom, I have 5 computers, I believe it is. Yes, I'm looking around right now. 5 computers which have every video uploaded to it. So whenever your child gets here in the morning, if they have not been able to do their homework for the night before, they come to one of those computers, turn it on, and they watch the video here. I've got every single one of them there. And you know, if you have shaky internet, I think it's a good idea for you to send your child with a thumb drive, and I can upload in no time every single video homework they will have the entire year. So hopefully amongst those contingencies, we can get everybody covered as far as making sure everyone can indeed watch the video. So let me go to this. Let me tell you a little bit about georgiastandards.org. This will give you all the details of what goes on in this class. You will go to Georgia Performance Standards. You will go to Science. After that, you will go to 9 through 12 because this is a high school class. all the way down to physical science. Next year is when you'll get the physics, but it's physical science here, and that will give you the standards right there. Hey, making a video right now, but you can come on in if you want to. So also, let me show you the Remind. The Remind, hey, I like Remind. Remind is where I can text to you different assignments, and your child will either be in my 5th period or my 6th period. So if your child is in my 5th period, here's what you do. On your cell phone, you text to 81010 this message, and that will get you signed up for Remind for 5th period. Let's see what it is for 6th period. 6th period, it is this. Ooh, the same exact place you're texting to, but a slightly different message. If you need to pause this to write that down or text it in, that's probably a good idea. Yeah, I like Remind. Now, if you don't know if your child is in 5th period or if your child is in 6th period, why don't you sign up for both of them? I can always drop whichever class they happen to not be in. So, speaking of the videos, here's probably the best way to go to the videos. Instead of going straight to YouTube all the time, I want you to get to a page where it has every single video, and you can just bookmark that page. Here's how you get there. Go to floydboe.net, select a school, and go down to Coosa Middle School. Once you get to Coosa Middle School, you will go to Teacher Pages. I am on the Honors team. So I will click Honors team. Look off to the left, find Mr. Mitchell. Click on that, look at that old picture of me. Go to 8th High School Physics. It should say Physical Science, but it's 8th High School Physical Science. Click on that, and that will give you the page that you need to bookmark. Bookmark this page right here, and you see every single video for the entire year. This year I'm putting what is on here. Please pardon the interruption over the intercom. But anyway, you can see the instructional videos are all the way through here, all the way down through H55. Hey, that's more videos than you've had in the past, but this is a high school course. Once your child clicks on that, then it goes straight to the page where that video is. Now, I'm showing the students this particular video in class. It might not be a bad one for you to look at. It kind of re-emphasizes the fact that your child should probably have all cell phones off, should probably not have the TV on, lots of different ways to keep from being distracted whenever your child watches one of these instructional videos. And here's a copy of those standards up there as we had before. Now, one thing I am doing different this year, instead of having 5 questions that the students fill out while they're watching the video, I have like a note page, and I have it on Google Classroom. I'll show you how to get to Google Classroom. I just Googled it. Isn't that kind of odd? Now, your child's will look a little bit different than this. Whenever they sign up, they'll probably have 1 or maybe 2 of these. This is the high school 8th grade. And I already have lots and lots of stuff on here already that your child will do in class or at home. But here's what I want to show you. I have the YouTube videos here anyway if they happen to want to go there. But I also, with each video, I have a note page. I'm going to click on here to show you what this note page looks like. So while your child is watching the video at home, I'd like for them to fill out this note page. So that way they kind of have something more than just a few questions that kind of helps summarize things that they see on the video. And you know, this might be good to copy and print out afterwards so they can have something in hand in which to study whenever we do have tests. Well, I tell you, I really do like physical science, and I hope your child has a very positive experience, not just in my class, but in all classes here at Coosa Middle School. Hope they have a great year. Thanks a lot.